So if you did indeed tune in live to Starrcade last night on the WWE Network, I watched it this morning, so I was alright, but apparently it just didn't work, and eventually WWE just went, oh, go and watch it on YouTube. It just goes to show that YouTube is the hub of everything. YouTube is central to the entire world, and that's why my name is Simon Miller, here on WhatCulture Wrestling, and I am proud to be on YouTube. But yes, once again for another year, WWE did have their Starrcade event. And why anybody ever thinks this is going to be more than a glorified house show, I don't know. It's just something nice to wake up to and go, ha, I can watch some wrestling. Because look, we only get around about 422,000 hours a week. Why can't we have 60 minutes more? But you know what we do? Let's up those downs. Why do we need a Kevin Owens show? I mean, does it mean anything anymore? Does it make things feel more important? No, it does not. And also, because we had a stripped back set at Starrcade, which I love, by the way, WWE, you should do that more. The Kevin Owens show was literally just 2 chairs in a ring. I mean, just have a promo segment. Just have a little, I don't know, but don't call it the Kevin Owens show, especially we've got the Kevin Owens show. We've got King's Court. We've got a Moment of Bliss. We've got Miz TV. There is too many talk shows on WWE television, and even though it was Kevin Owens talking to Ric Flair, which was nice, it's getting it down. And so yeah, Ric Flair was his guest, and it was fine, and it makes perfect sense as to why the Nature Boy, would be out there, because his name is almost synonymous with Starrcade. You should involve him in some fashion. Also, it's hilarious when you do get Flair to do anything like this, because within around about 2.3 seconds, he is breaking the fourth wall and just talking about stuff that's going on behind the scenes. He also dissed Bobby Lashley when he said the first Starrcade happened 36 years ago and nobody that's wrestling on this card tonight was even born then. If you type in Bobby Lashley on Wikipedia, it will let you know that he is 43 years old. Flub you, Bobby. You don't count. Anywho, this was just a way to set up the OC versus the Street Profits, which I completely understand sounds illogical. But when they were all counting down 3, 2, 1, on 1, everybody was going to go, woo, and we were going to have a great time. Gallows and Anderson came out instead. Kevin Owens then insulted them for being bald. You need to calm down there, KO, you full head. Like, don't come at me like that. I'm part of this bald community, and it hurts. But then eventually the Street Profits, they came out as well, and it was decided they should have a tag team bout. That was enjoyable enough too. Up. And the interesting thing about Starrcade, as I've already alluded to, is that it is just a house show that somehow gets aired. I mean, I guess it's like AEW Dark when the name no longer makes sense. And because of that, everybody wrestles like it is a house show, so it's kind of entertaining, but you never really get above 6 out of 10. But 6 out of 10 is okay. 6 out of 10 is like a loving embrace from your mother. Actually, if your mum is giving you like 6 out of 10 hugs, she probably doesn't love you. So you got the OC beating up the Profits for a while before Dawkins got the hot tag. He ran wild, then Gallows and Anderson got back in control. They went for the Magic Killer, they weren't able to do it. And Montez Ford hit a frog splash to get the 1, 2, 3. The good guys get the victory. And everybody was really happy, or at least as happy as you're going to be on a Sunday night. It was an easy watch. Flair celebrated with them afterwards. And that's all I've got for you. Nonsense then arrived as it was Charlotte and Becky versus Sasha and Bayley versus Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus the Kabuki Warriors for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And at least 4 women in this match really shouldn't give 2 shibs about the tag team division. But in terms of the quality of this, again, really easy to watch. There's my phrase. Up. As before, it was mostly just okay, but that was all it was ever meant to be. I did at one point think to myself, if we are going to use the Starrcade name, which is quite famous in the wrestling industry, shouldn't we make more of this? But then I also remembered we only had Survivor Series a week ago, and I don't want to have to go through another pay-per-view that could potentially go 10 hours. So I'm fine with 60 minutes. We got some ha-ha tags as Alexa Bliss tagged in Becky Lynch and vice versa, which always makes no sense, because if I am on a tag team, I'm not going to tag somebody else in from another pairing, because when they are in the ring, they're able to win the match, and wrestling should always be about trying to win the match. But of course, this was mostly so that Becky Lynch could get in there and run wild, which the crowd did love. However, she wasn't able to steal the show, because that award goes to Kairi Sane, who not only at one point was just slapping her ass, as if you were a bad guy, slapping your ass is a terrible thing to do, but she also went, "Hey Bayley," and pretended to high-five her, and instead just kicked her in the gut. I tell you, it still makes, it's still stupid that we turned Kairi Sane and Oscar heel, but they are living it up, and They are very entertaining. From there it was let's hit our big moves time as Kairi Sane was coming off the top with that lovely elbow and Charlotte was hitting a double spear on the tag team champions and Nikki Cross was using the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. And I respect you, Nikki Cross, because you've kind of like made that your own. Your surprise roll-up is like a signature, but unfortunately for you, it wasn't able to get you the job done because Asuka was able to kick out. She reversed it into the Asuka lock and Nikki Cross tapped out. I also think we are actually getting the Kabuki Warriors versus Charlotte and Becky Lynch at TLC, and it is absolutely baffling, but I got over that very quickly because on this night, on this evening, and apparently it's been happening at house shows before this, the Kabuki Warriors actually have proper tag team music. No longer are they fading in and fading out, which makes me want to take my own head off and stick it in the toilet. We have a proper theme for Asuka and Kairi Sane. Now, it sounds like it got made in around about 10 minutes, but I don't care. I needed that in my life. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I've clearly had an awful life. Bobby Lashley then beat the ghost of Rusev. I'm not kidding. Down. Now look, I appreciate a good story, I really do, but if I had spent my hard-earned money on a ticket to Starrcade and as I was going to the arena, I was like, oh man, we're going to get a last man standing match tonight, and even though maybe I don't care about Bobby Lashley and I don't care about Rusev, and you're crazy if you don't care about Rusev, at least I'm going to see two giant dudes maybe use some tables, maybe use some chairs, maybe fight in the crowd. I can get up for this. And you know what happened? It got cancelled. Instead, we had Lana saying that she had instigated her restraining order here in Georgia, which means Rusev is not allowed anywhere near the building. Bobby Lashley then demanded his hand got raised in the air, and he won by forfeit. And I was thinking about this. It must be the worst first match in a feud in the history of pro wrestling. Some guy beat the Invisible Man. What a pile of pap. I mean, what are the record books going to say? You're looking through the WWE record book and you get to this day in the 1st of December 2019 and it said, Bobby Lashley wins via restraining order. I tell you, only in World Wrestling Entertainment. Kevin Owens must have felt the same because he came bombing out there to say there's no way Starrcade is going to end like that. And a round of applause for Kevin Owens for just cutting an absolute wonderful promo. He said that nobody cares about this stupid relationship, and he is right. And he also insulted Lana's coming accent. You know, sometimes it's Russian and sometimes it's not. It's absolutely pathetic. He then said to Bobby Lashley, we should have a match. And they did. I liked it. It actually looked like Bobby Lashley was going to win here, which means I would have gone nuts on Twitter, because after Owens had hit the stunner, Lana just got into the ring, which for some reason isn't a disqualification. Like, imagine you were watching football, tennis, American football, and someone just threw themselves on the pitch, but the game wasn't thrown out. You'd think it was absolutely ridiculous. When all that was going on, Bobby Lashley hit a spine buster, and he got a very close near count, and then he just thought, you know what, I don't even care about winning, because Lana passed him a chair, and he was going to crack KO in the skull. That is not what happened, because instead the crowd started to all rustle up as Rusev came from there, got in the ring, and started to beat up Bobby Lashley. And after a bit of a back and forth, Ruru did get the upper hand, and he was hitting Bobby Lashley with kendo sticks and chairs and all manner of weapons. In fact, he even got Bobby Lashley to hold up a chair, and he Machka kicked it right into his face. Rusev then legged it because he is 100% a fugitive at this stage, and I guess more fool us for thinking that this feud was going to go anywhere on an event like Starrcade. I mean, the really odd thing when you think about it is that we didn't get a last man standing match. Again, that was cancelled, but then to finish it, we basically got a last man standing match because Bobby Lashley was down for at least a 10 count and Rusev was standing tall. Just let that run through your brain for the rest of the day. It's also very important to note that during all of this, Rusev was actually wearing a Bob Ross top. That's right, Bob Ross, like one of the most loveliest men ever, as far as I know. I don't know too much about him, but I think he's very well regarded. I assume he was just painting good thoughts into the heart of Rusev as he whooped some ass. And yes, this is me painting. I'm not very good at this. And that was it. That was the end of Starrcade. It only apparently went 1 hour and 7 minutes, and people there live said they also got The Fiend versus Braun Strowman, and that it was absolute crap. So I'm glad I didn't have to see that. But again, I got that information from the internet. The internet is just a very, very negative place. So I guess it all depends on what your expectations were. My expectations were very low, because I remember what happened 12 months ago. I guess it was just kind of nice to wake up and, like I say, have an hour of more WWE to watch on a Monday, because boy howdy, we don't get enough of that. So Spinning Arrow, it gets an up, but it's kind of like, you know, just there. I don't think you should have taken this too seriously, and if you didn't want to watch it, that's okay. You don't have to watch everything. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's Starrcade. Did you like it, or probably did you hate it? I get it either way. Again, expectations. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. Watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. Remember, YouTube. Everybody loves it. My name is Simon WhatCulture. Thank you very much for tuning in. And for the people that keep tweeting me, going, Simon, I can't believe how I dressed up like a clown. I dressed up like a clown. I did it. It's on Ups and Downs for SmackDown. It went live on Saturday. You can get in a time machine and literally go and watch it right now. It's on YouTube, and it's never ever going to go away. So even when you are 104, if you live that long, you can see me dressed as a clown. If I get one more person tweeting me that, I'm going to take my foot and I'm going to stick it straight up their ass. And that is not a very hygienic thing to do. What if my foot gets stuck up there? We're both going to have to go to the hospital and no one's going to be happy. Goodbye.